Hello everyone, and welcome back to the C Programming from Zero to Hero course and to the Unit 7, that is Array. And we have completed the first 6 units, and you can congratulate yourself on that. And about talking about this unit will be mainly focused on the derived data type parts that we left, including arrays and string. Since string is just an array of character, or you can say string is just a sub part of an array, that is why the name of the unit is arrays. So talking about arrays is a collection of homogeneous elements stored in a contiguous memory location. Or you can say an array is a collection of variables of same type that are referred by a common name. I know this definition may sound somewhat vague or difficult to understand. The thing that array provides us, suppose you need to store the data of 5 students perhaps, or maybe marks of 4 students, then you are going to declare 4 different integer or maybe floating point variables, and you are going to store their marks in all those 4 different variables. And what if I ask you to enter the data of 100 students, or perhaps 200 students, or perhaps 50 students only? It would be a great pain for us to write down uh, 50 names, and those all 50 names must be different variable names. And after that, writing the printing statements again and again and again, and scanning statement again and again and again for all the for 50 different variables. And that will make our work very, very, very difficult. So the solution for this situation is arrays. So array is a collection of homogeneous elements. Homogeneous elements means elements of same kind or same data type. Okay, stored in a contiguous memory location. Contiguous memory location means they are stored in continuous fashion in a memory location. Okay, and I will get to that. And or you can say array is a collection of variables of same type that are referred by a common name. We are going to just, if you want to have 50, if you want to store just 50 integers, then we I'm going to declare an array of type integer, and its size will be 50, and I'm going to define its size to be 50. Or you can say that I would be generating 50 different 50 you can say 50 integral spaces or memory spaces, you can say 50 different variables, just writing us just defining a single array, and that would make our work very, very, very easy. An array has a name. uh, Talking about one dimensional array, or you can say the simplest array you can have, an array has a name, and its elements are referred by their indices and subscripts. And indices start from 0, and I will talk about these indices or subscripts. Then we have the data type of elements of an array is known as base type. Okay, so the base type is just the definition that which type of the array is, or which types of element, homogeneous element, it is storing. So that would be the base type. An array has a size that defines how many elements an array can store. Size must be an integer number. That is very obvious. Size cannot be in decimal. You cannot have half of the size. Okay, so the syntax says we need to just write down the simple valid C type, and then we need to name the array, and in the square brackets we need to specify size. How many elements do we want? How many integers do we want? How many floating points and do you want to get stored in that array? Okay, so let's write down a program to understand it more clearly. Now I am going to declare an array of integer type, and the name of the array will be A, and the size of the array will be 6. Okay, you can give any size as per your convenience. I am just giving you an example, that is why I am going with this 6. Okay, now how can I fill up those 6 spaces? For that, or you can say for initialization of an array, you need to just, if you want to initialize within the declaration part, you just need to write equals to and curly braces, and then you need to give six different numbers, integer numbers, separated by a comma. Okay, so I have initialized the values, all six different values of array A of size 6, and as soon as I do this, I will be having a array, and that array will be storing six different memories for an integral size. And you can see in here the array I have stored has value of 20, 36, 22, 44, 86, 66 respectively, and these are the memory locations that that particular array index, or you can say a particular array block uh, has having. And you can see in here the difference in the memory is of 4. Why it is of 4? It is of 4 because it is an integer type array. And what is the size of an integer type variable? The integer stores and memory of 4 bytes. So that is why we see the difference of 4 bytes in here. Okay, and that is what I mean by contiguous memory location. Okay, you can say that all the memory locations are continuous, there is no break in them. Okay, it is not like that this element is stored somewhere in memory, somewhere else in memory, this is stored somewhere else in memory. In memory itself, they are stored in continuous fashion, or you can say in contiguous memory location. And now how can we access a particular element or the particular array block of the array A? For that we need to write A and square bracket and the name of the index. Every block has its own index, and starting with the 0. Okay, the very first block will be having index of 0, the second block will be having index of 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, and so on. All the indices are stored in a particular fashion, and you can see that this in the second first point itself we said indices always starts from 0. So the very first index is 0. If you want to access the very first element, then you need to specify a0, and students may get confused that we have a as 6, and though the index maximum index value is 5 in here. Why it is so? Because the indices are starting themselves from 0, but while we are specifying the size, we are counting size from 1 itself. And you can see there are 6 memory blocks, 1 2 3 4 5 6, 6 memory blocks, though the maximum index value is 5. And to access the particular uh, element, we need to specify the respective index inside the square brackets. Okay, and let's see, let's print out the very specific you can say specific indices or specific block. And for that I am using a for loop. Why I am using a for loop? Because I have a flexibility, or you can say all these elements have same name, the name is same, but the difference in them is they are just differ for the index value, and I can loop through that index. Now we are going to iterate through the array A using an variable, suppose I. Let me declare the for loop. For loop int I is equals to 0, because indices will start from 0, and I will be less than 6. It will never reach 6. And then plus plus I, and then I'm going to print out all the values, print f, and for percentage, or you can say a uh, percentage d, and is equals to percentage d, and then we have I and uh, a I. You need not to confuse about this statement. This the printf statement is saying that I want to print in this manner, that a0 is equals to 20, a1 is equals to 36, a2 is equals to 22. Like I want to print all these value in this particular fashion, and for that I'm using this statement that a brackets and brackets that would be printed as it is, and percentage d that would be I in here. So I will be printed in this place, and the value associated with that particular array is going to printed at this particular position. And let's run the program, and you can see in here we have received an output as a0 is equals to 20, a1 is equals to 36, a2 is equals to 22, and so on up to a5. And now we know how you can access the particular element of an array. And now I'm going to show you one more method you can use for overwriting the values of a particular index, or you can even use them as an initialization. Okay, so what I'm going to do, you can even use I have not initialized any of the memory location of the array indices. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to do this one by one. A0 is equals to 1, and I'm going to write A2, A1 is equals to 2, and so on. And now you can see I have initialized all the values separately one by one, and now I'm going to run the program. And you can see in here value as a0 equals 1 2 3 and 4 5 6 respectively for all the indices. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to ask user to enter the particular values first, and then I'm going to print all those values. For that I'm again going to use for loop. So now you can see I have written an for loop, and that is going to scan all the values of an array from the user itself, and then I am going to print that value out. Okay, after running the program, we have a0, let it be 10, 20, 30, 44, or 4 5 6, and you can see we have printed all the values after that: 10, 20, 30, 4, 5, and 6. So this was all about one dimensional array, and how you can initialize those array, how they are stored in a contiguous memory location, and how you can initialize their value within the within the declaration part, or with using a for loop, or using a one by one approach, or how you can print all the values, because using loop is the most convenient way, and you can use any loop of your convenience, or loop in which you are comfortable with. Okay, so this was all about one dimensional array. See you in the next video.